On November 2nd, it's Crown Jewel, live from Saudi Arabia, featuring Brock Lesnar, AJ Styles, The Undertaker. No female wrestlers because they aren't allowed to perform there. And maybe John Cena, if he's willing to take a major PR hit. Try and forget everything you've seen on the news that might make this hard to enjoy. And instead, watch the Brothers of Destruction leave their opponents dead and buried. Sorry, poor choice of words. Someone is going to rest in pieces. Nope, hang on. Someone is going to be ambushed and mutilated with a bone saw and... You know what? Never mind. The point is, next Friday at Crown Jewel, respect is out the window. And if you care about human rights, the WWE's got 2 words for you. Suck it!
It's astounding. Time is fleeting. Madness takes its toll. But listen closely.
Not for very much longer.
I've got to keep control.
I remember doing the time war, drinking those moments when the blackness would hit me and the void would be calling. Let's do the
Time warp again! Here it is.
It's just a jump to the left. With your hands on your hips.
Oh,
Can't cut me off mid-jam.
I'm sorry. What's up, guys? Tim Zabriskie here. Back at it again with the brand new vid. It's Halloween. We're having a good time. Man, Phil, I gotta tell you though, the face paint was maybe not the best idea.
Can you breathe?
I can breathe. It's mostly, it's mostly that it's just getting everywhere. I got it all over my windscreen here. When my keyboard went down a second ago, I got it all over the cables and everything like that too. It was pretty crazy, but we got an excellent show for everybody here today.
Woo!
Apparently it was bleeding through your speakers, Phil. You turn your speakers off there. But anyway, it's Halloween. We don't normally do this. We don't normally dress up like this. Obviously, I'm the man called Sting. Shout out.
What you're talking about. I look like this all the time.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The Riddler over here, the man, the myth, the president of wrestling, Phil Stamper, ladies and gentlemen. Phil Stamper. The audience.
And everything froze.
The audience was a little delayed on that. It's because I couldn't see the button. But anyway, it's so great that we're doing a spooky sort of show here because we're coming up on the spookiest wrestling event that's ever happened. Tim, you're watching one of the greatest comedy podcasts with professional wrestling influences ever. So stick around. Thanks for popping in. Crown Jewel. It's definitely one of those deals where do we even have this pay-per-view? Should we even have this pay-per-view? Phil, thoughts as I catch my breath?
Oh, brand new breaking news about Crown Jewel.
What is it?
Renee Young will be joining the announce team at Crown Jewel.
Wow.
That's crazy. I thought they don't like women over there.
Just not athletically competing.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's very, very kind of them. Yes. Why? I wonder who's not going. Besides John Cena, and to why she's going, or is this how they're going to start changing it, everything, and making a revolution out of everything?
I mean, that could be it. I mean, that's, we talked about that before, that if the WWE really is at the cusp of everything,
Yeah.
That this could work out to their advantage in the long run. Of course, in the short term, they're going to eat a lot of crap.
Exactly. I mean, it's definitely a hard thing that they're doing in there, and there's a lot of controversy. As we all saw, I pulled up the clip from last week tonight that with John Oliver, where they made that parody thing, but because it's big news right now, where it's just like, should they be there? Shouldn't they be there? Should they have pulled out? Should they have not have pulled out? I mean, I was thinking about this the other day when by myself, and I said, if they pull out, that makes them bad business people to the Saudis, and
right,
and I don't know, and they have a 10-year deal. It's not like this is like a one-shot. Like, if this was a one-shot thing, then yeah, I definitely could see them, pulling out without it even being an issue and telling them to hike. But this is it's going to be over $1 billion in the long haul, right?
I don't know if it's quite that much, but if you think about, they're
I'm thinking
also
in the 10 years.
Right, and they're going to get a cut of merch and ticket sales. Then you start getting those numbers. But up front, they're getting a lot of money from the Saudi government or Saudi royalty.
Exactly, which makes it even more effed up, considering somebody was murdered very recently. I
mean, that just is what it is. I mean, when I say that, I mean, it's right there. I don't mean it anything like I'm trying to defend any of that. That's not where I was going.
Right. No, absolutely. But it's just like, oh my gosh, like, dude, I don't know. I am very indifferent to the whole thing. So, if you were in their position, would you have pulled out?
Part of me wants to say yes, especially right now. But at the same time, if they're under a certain contractual agreement, they might not be able to without severe financial penalties. And they're not going to put that dirty, their dirty business out there.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't pull out because I never do. What? Come on! You didn't like that?
Did your wife hear you?
She did, probably, and I'm not gonna... Future wife, all right? Give me some...
future, sorry. I'm already...
I still got 200 days, something like that. It's
wow.
It's pretty crazy.
It's going to come faster and faster and faster.
That's what she said? What? Come on, Phil! You keep setting me up! How am I not gonna take these? For crying out loud. All right, so Crown Jewel... we're not going to say how did we get there, because I think everybody knows how we've gotten here, right? Blood money.
Oh.
But let's, is there a pre-show on this card? Well, first off, what time does this card air? Is this one at 2 in the morning? Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even look that up. So it is airing on Friday. If it was during the day like it was before, I believe it's going to air at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, Jesus. On a Friday. So just once again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Most of their fan base, right? Because they're an American company in America. What's everybody doing at 1 o'clock on a Friday, Phil?
I mean, I lucked out, proverbial term, for the greatest Royal Rumble ever in history of life, of revenge, of whatever, because there was a bigger one in Japan. Because I was preparing for a friend's wedding, so I was in the kitchen watching it while I was cooking.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I understand that. But this Friday coming up, are you going to be preparing for a wedding, or are you going to be working?
I will be in the office.
Exactly. So being in the office, it's going to be really difficult.
So, I mean, if you look at it this way, the one, I'm the person who always tries to look a little bit at the positive sides of things. And if you look at the positive of Impact Wrestling, I know you're probably like, what the hell am I going to with Impact with WWE? Impact's American model failed. However, Impact's international model hit tremendous success before its current iteration of management.
Right.
That was really what was funding them. WWE was not having as much success. Well, now they are. If they can break into this market in Asia, then there's going to be bigger long-term success. So the fact that there's going to be a pay-per-view that's timed with, that over half of the world's population, I mean, that's going to hit 1,000. I mean, that's going to be great for them.
Yeah, it definitely will be. But what does that do for diplomacy, Phil?
I mean, you're not wrong.
Nothing.
And what's interesting is you have, when President Trump decries something that everybody else feels should be decried, that's a little bit shocking in itself. And then in the current administration, you have Linda McMahon, who is the secretary of the Small Business Association or Small Business. It's a little bit surprising then that there hasn't been a little bit more leverage by the administration onto the WWE.
To pull them out. Right? Yeah.
Or to say hold, or to say, let's do something else. But again, we don't know the financial arrangements. I have, a sneaking suspicion that probably they're obliged to their contract, or they face some kind of severe financial penalty.
Yeah, because you're breaking a contract, and
right.
And I'm sure that Vince is. I mean, I could very well be wrong, and I know that I am. But I'm sure that if he even thought about breaking the agreement, he probably was worried he was going to get murdered. Because
I mean, I hate to say it, but that's a huge risk.
That is look at what these people have done. I mean, but I digress. I learned that word last week. If you had stuck around for that. All right, so Phil, aside from all of this stuff, let's get into the card. Let's divulge into that. As before, we will be keeping the score. We will come out with a scorecard later. Shoot. Phil's gonna go run and grab a piece of paper and a pen.
Damn it!
But just like last time with WWE Evolution, we had a winner and we had a decisive loser. Phil totally knocked it out of the park, and he only got one wrong. Me, on the other hand, I don't know women is basically what this means here. But I had gotten 3 wrong, which means that Phil was the winner, and now Phil has not only bragging rights going into this pay-per-view, but also gets to decide what it is the penalty will be for me. Now, he was mentioning a ghost pepper, but somebody here forgot to go get one, so I don't think I will be having a ghost pepper. But, Mr. Phil, how about I just have to chug a full beer? Does that work for you?
Why, yes, Tim, that works for me. I don't have a problem with that.
Hello, I'm back.
So what I was saying was that I forgot to get a ghost pepper, and so I'm gonna just chug a full beer, and then next time we'll make up for it. How does that sound? Yeah.
I don't know if that's punishment.
I mean, I'm not a very good chugger, so it's kind of punishment for me.
Oh, great.
All right, so Phil, you got your pen, you got your paper, and you got the card up. I'm assuming, correct?
Yes, I do.
All right, so what are we looking at for the first match in your eyes? Because we do not call any of the winner or the order or any.
I'm gonna say the opening match will be for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship. The Bar, Cesaro and Sheamus,
yes,
who are the current reigning champions, who will be accompanied by Big Show.
Whoa!
Will defend against New Day, who came out as Gangrel and the Brood tonight.
Who did? What?
The New Day came out as Gangrel and the Brood.
That's awesome. That's sweet.
It actually looked like a cool entrance. People were Snapchatting it to me.
I gotta watch that. Definitely. That's sweet. So they So it's the Bar versus the New Day that came out tonight as the Brood. Got it. How did we get these two guys together? I know that they had some history in the past, but how do we get to where we are now?
So the Bar actually defeated on SmackDown 1000 on October 16th. The Bar defeated the New Day, so this is their rematch for the championship.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. So, the New Day, do you think that they're going to be sticking together for a while longer, or do you think that we're getting closer towards a breakup?
it seems like they're going to stay together longer. I mean, we've talked about before that we thought that everything was being teased for them to break up, and they haven't broken up yet. So I'm going to say they're staying strong where they're at.
Nice. Now, as far as this match goes, with Big Show's involvement with the bar, it really brings the question of A, do they even need Big Show's rub at this point? I think that they've always been a fantastic team. And B, does this mean that they're going to keep them as a trio? Or is this going to be another one of these deals where the match is going on, something happens to Big Show, and then, Big Show just clears everybody out and then looks gigantic in Saudi Arabia?
Exactly. This is for the want of the Saudi Arabians.
Okay, so you think that Big Show's going to look like a powerhouse in this situation, and nothing will be learned at the end of the day, right?
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna go with.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go with just total GQ on that, right? Is that what you're writing down?
Is that what you want?
You're saying yes. So are you? Who's going over then? Who's going over?
I'm gonna say, let's say the bar with Big Show.
All right, so you're gonna go with the heels. I'm gonna go with the
New Day!
I think it'll be a nice little babyface pop and especially with all the controversy, I think it would be nice to have a different looking team go over in a place where there's a lot of hate. So I'm gonna pull the political card on that. All right, what do we got next?
So let's go to the WWE Championship between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe.
Wow, second? Really?
So what? Well, I don't really think it's going to go in this order, but then you have the World Cup, which is the whole point. Did you say
Samoa Joe? I thought it was Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan has pulled out.
Wow. Really?
That got confirmed. I saw right before I got here. I saw a note that was confirmed that he is no longer going to be a part of the event.
Holy shit! That is nuts. And they've been hyping that match. Everyone's really been looking forward to that match. I know that they just did it a couple weeks ago on the Raw 1000th episode, right? But
right.
Man, I bet you they were really banking on that. So they're putting AJ with Samoa Joe again. Ooh. I mean,
so
obviously it's a great feud and everything like that, and they're fantastic together. But at the same time, it's like that's crazy that Daniel Bryan pulled out. I mean, do you think that there's going to be any repercussions for him and Cena? Because I know that Cena pulled out.
Right. I mean, the only thing I wonder about is we had heard before that they were offering the Saudis were offering apparently big paydays. Like if they could get The Rock to come in by the time of the World's Greatest Royal Rumble, as long as he was the heavyweight champion again, that they were offering this craziness. So is that it? Are they saying, hey, we want John Cena and we're offering to pay him X, or was he part of sort of the packaged bundle of the roster of WWE, and he's pulling out, and the WWE's like, don't worry, we got other people. That I'm missing, and again, I'm only hearing sort of the rumor and innuendo of apparently what is out there. I'm trying to confirm everything.
All right, Conrad, I love you. I love you, Conrad, but fuck, don't ever say that on this show again.
What? Conrad who?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. I'm going to buy a house next year. I'm going to call that guy. You know who I'm talking about, right?
I don't know.
Are you serious?
I don't know. No, I don't.
Really? Conrad from the Bruce Pritchard podcast?
Now I do.
83 Weeks podcast with Eric Bischoff. He's the guy that goes
and rumor and innuendo has it.
He says that's like his catchphrase. So it's funny that you said that without even knowing who Conrad was.
I know who he is. I don't listen to his podcast. I really don't.
They're actually pretty good. So, all right.
The last thing I heard about his podcast was when they did their live stage show and Jim Cornette went out there and showed his nuts.
Yeah, and he got kicked out. Yeah, I just saw it. I just read that article.
And that sort of was like, okay, I'm good. Thank you, bye.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm missing the reason why, but yes, it is confirmed on WWE's Twitter. It will be AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe at Crown Jewel. So this is a change from what had been previously announced.
All right, interesting. So yeah, I can definitely see your perspective on that going first. With that being said, I think that they're once again going to keep the belt right on AJ Styles. I don't think that they're gonna take him off it for this. You know,
I agree.
Unless, I mean, because we don't know, unless they were to do a Samoa Joe finally gets that victory, but it doesn't matter because they're in Saudi Arabia, and then AJ wins it on Tuesday, sort of deal. You know?
Right. I have to go AJ. I have to go AJ.
All right. I'm gonna go AJ as well. I think we'll both stick with AJ on that. Write that down. That way I can make the graphic later. And yeah, what do we got going on next?
So then the next is going to be what's the bulk of the event. We have the matches for the WWE World Cup.
Oh, you mean the King of the Ring that everybody
Yeah.
wanted to come back?
No. The Crown Jewel.
Oh, okay. All right. So Greatest Royal Rumble, King of the Ring is next, and then then the next time they go back, they'll do like Survive or Die, right?
Wow.
There you go.
Exactly. And then it'll be like they'll play like 10-man teams against each other, right? And it's
Do war
elimination
games.
style. Yeah.
Maybe that's
War
politically
games.
insensitive.
Whoa.
I didn't mean it that way.
War games. I love it. It's fantastic. All right. So we have who are the participants in this entire, like, do we have the actual matches, the first matches set up?
We do have the actual matches set up. We first have, let's start with Kurt Angle versus Dolph Ziggler.
Ooh, that should be a good one. I mean, if it was Kurt 10 years ago.
Wow.
But I mean, I don't know. I think that he can still go. Apparently they got rid of him from the GM so that he could really train for this whole deal, right?
Yeah, I know he's been training with IWC up in Pittsburgh with Chris LaRusso, so I know he's been having a good time training in Pittsburgh.
Nice. That's awesome. I mean, I don't know. Who do you think is going to go over in that?
I'm going to call Ziggler.
Wow. Really?
I mean, Angle doesn't need it. And if anything, I think he'll be screwed out of it if they're going with a storyline.
I don't think that they would screw him out in the first round, though. I agree with you there, but I think they're gonna keep. Kurt's gonna win this round. You know what I mean?
Okay, if that's your call.
I'm going with Kurt. Definitely, Kurt Angle is gonna be crowned the winner in this match, going to the semifinals, because then you could do a little bit more storyline sort of stuff. This match is gonna be pretty good. I bet you that Ziggler's gonna be like, "Oh, you think you can still fucking go?" You know, pull that Shawn spot, and then we're gonna have something really, really fun and entertaining out of the whole thing. All right, what's the next match that we have?
Let's go with Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton.
Ooh, didn't Randy Orton request to work with Mysterio? Wasn't that?
I hadn't quite heard that, but I would imagine. I mean, they'd worked together before. Why not?
Yeah, that should be a really good match, actually. And it just sucks with all the controversy going into this card. Like, it seems like they were actually putting together a pretty decent card here, though. You know what I mean? So
I do agree.
So yeah, it's definitely like, who do you think is gonna go over in this one?
I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna go with Randy Orton, and I'll have to explain later when I talk about the next match.
Okay, so Randy Orton you have going over in this one, and then in the next match, well, for this match, I'm gonna go with Mysterio on this one. I think that they're gonna really work on that huge pop, and you know, in the same regard as you said with Kurt, I don't think that Randy needs it. You know,
Right. So the reason I set it up that way is because the other SmackDown bracket is Jeff Hardy versus The Miz. Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy had this whole big feud. I don't even know if it's still continuing per se, but they've had it. I think then this will be an opportunity to rematch that. So I'm going to say with Jeff Hardy versus The Miz, it's Jeff Hardy.
Ooh, okay. Well, I think that so you have Jeff Hardy going over in that match then.
Correct.
Yeah, I have Jeff Hardy going over in that match too, but for the basis that we will get Ray versus Jeff.
Ooh.
I like that. Are you kind of right in making like semifinals for us?
I was just thinking that I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
But then the last quarterfinal match will be Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley.
Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. Oh, because because this is where John Cena has been pulled from the show, right?
Correct. Bobby Lashley is the replacement for John Cena. Bobby Lashley and Little Leo Rush.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Leo's Leo. but Bobby Lashley and
You're playing with transitions, aren't you?
I am. I'm trying to keep it spooky because we're having we're having Halloween here. All right. So Bobby Lashley versus why am I drawing a blank? I guess I'm going with Bobby Lashley because apparently he's the only one in this match for me. But no,
Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins, yeah.
I'm going to agree with. I kind of want to. Well, no, sorry, you're saying Bobby Lashley. So
I don't know because Seth Rollins has this whole deal going on right now with Dean. You know, all of a sudden they don't like each other. Is Dean even on this card?
No, not that I see.
But his wife's going?
Yes.
So he's going to be there.
Hey, she did fine with Adam for like 8 months, so.
I mean, I guess, but I think that not in a third world country where they don't like women. Woo! So I think that I think he'll be there, and I think that he'll get involved in either this match or the next match if you have Seth going over.
I'm gonna say then. Oh, you know what? That's a good point. I'm actually gonna go Rollins because then that would match up for me, Rollins and Ziggler.
Okay, and then who would that match up for me then?
Angle and Lashley. So if you had to pick between Angle and Lashley, who would you pick?
Ooh, Angle and Lashley? I'm going to go with Angle again. I think. Do I go with Angle again? Is this the semifinals here?
This would be the semifinals.
So Angle and Lashley. And then, yeah, I'm going to go with Bobby Lashley here. And that's where we have, what's his face, Baron Corbin interfere in the whole deal. Try to mess up the whole thing, you know?
So you said you're going with Lashley.
Yeah, Lashley's going to go over on Angle.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
And since I have the entire different bracket, I'm going to say it's Ziggler.
All right, so Ziggler's going to go over on Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to do it with Dean interfering, right?
Thank you for putting words in my mouth. I don't know. I really don't know if he's going to get involved. I didn't
mean to put the words in. I'm sorry.
He'll make his presence known, but I don't know if he'll directly interfere.
Yeah. So maybe we'll get the whole interference, or the music plays and he's just on the ramp sort of deal, right?
Right.
Protecting his wife at the same time.
Right. It'll be something crazy like that.
Yeah, yeah. Or he comes through the crowd like he's known to do, and I don't know. I'm not trying to book your match there, but all right. So then the other match in the what were you about to say? I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to go there next. For you, that would be Rey Mysterio and Jeff Hardy,
which I think is going to be that'll steal the show because I think they're both going to really work at it, unless Jeff's too exhausted at that point. But I don't think he will be. I think that he will. I think that they're gonna put on a serious, like a really fucking fast, high-flying match. But who's gonna go over in that one? I'm gonna go again with Rey Mysterio on that. I think that having Lashley and Rey Mysterio will be a great match, and you know we want to
keep them strong.
You know, going to the final, and then I don't know. But who do you have? What's your next match?
So what's interesting is I kind of agree with you, but for a whole other reason. I mean, if part of the Saudi Arabia's or the Saudi prince's reason for having the WWE is this whole sort of personal nostalgia, he may want Rey. And, you know, since I think he's the only one from another country in the entire World Cup tournament, You might have a very good point. However, I have Orton Hardy, and I think Hardy is going to go over.
Oh, okay.
So what that sets up for you in the finals is Lashley Ray, and for me, Ziggler Hardy.
Man, you're really pushing Ziggler, huh?
I didn't necessarily mean to. It just happened that way.
I mean, Jeff Hardy is like I'm not knocking Ziggler by any means, but at the same time, I didn't think that I was gonna see him going all the way to the end like that. Huh? Yeah, I don't know. But for me, with Lashley and Ray, that's like a great match. I feel, I think that it's power versus speed, which has always been the classic.
You'll get in a spot from Leo Rush with Rey Mysterio.
Exactly. You'll get like a roll in there or something like that. But for that match, I think that they're gonna kind of have Ziggler play, or not Ziggler, Lashley play a little bit of a tweener role, right? And then kind of be a little bit more heel on Ray, and then Ray's gonna be ultra super mega baby face, and then I think that he's gonna go over.
I get where you're coming from. So for me, it's Ziggler Hardy. I think what you said is valid. Hardy going all the way to the finals might be a bit of a surprise. However, same nostalgia pop. I think then in the case of Hardy Ziggler, I think it might be Ziggler that needs to pull off this victory. So I'm going to say Dolph Ziggler.
Wow.
Why not? Why not?
I know, because at the end of the day, why not? And because at this show, it doesn't really mess with any of the big storylines. You know what I mean? It's just filler there. It's a $10 million filler, whatever it is, but still, it's a great way. It's a great way to lead that in. All right, we're gonna take a quick little break, and we will be right back.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Babe, what shirt are you wearing?
My Tim Zabriskie Show shirt.
Yeah, that's right, Phil. Tim Zabriskie Show shirt. It's available now. Just send me a direct message and we'll send one packing to you. $10 plus shipping and handling. It looks sweet, especially when you're dressed up as the man called Sting.
Phil, this card, it's actually not that bad, and that's what the whole thing about all of this is. You know what I mean?
Right. What's interesting, in comparison to the world's greatest Royal Rumble, where that's 60 people in the battle in the Royal Rumble, plus all the other matches they had, plus all their support staff. That's a lot of people that they had to go overseas with. Now that they're doing a tournament, it's a lot less talent that they're bringing over to another country.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I wonder if, and let's say the first time that they went, right? They had to bring all the staging and everything like that.
Right.
Maybe they left something. Maybe the Saudis, part of the money for the big one, for the first one was buying a bunch of that equipment and just leaving it there, right? And then this way, it's cheaper to go there now. You're just basically bringing the talent.
That could very much be the truth. Apparently, though, some of their crew has been in Saudi Arabia since last week preparing for the setup.
Jesus. Can you imagine, I hope that those guys are also millionaires after doing this and not just the talent, especially for how much work they're putting into that stuff.
Right. I don't know.
Being away from your family and everything,
Right. I always get this mixed message on how much that crew gets. I don't know, for certain. I don't know how much. No one's ever told me. But, Shane McMahon himself talked about the time he had to go to Vince McMahon and ask for a raise. And how he tried to justify why he needed more money and how he was really worth it to the company. And Vince disagreed and he left the company.
Yeah.
Well, pal.
That's a pretty good Vince.
You're goddamn right.
Sounds like Vince on the cartoon.
Yeah, pal.
I took off some of the reverb there and I don't know.
I feel like it's really Vince with the reverb. Yeah, pal.
Not bad, right? All right. Yes. So what's the match that we have next?
So, you know what? I'm going to say the match that I don't think is going to be the main event, and I'll save the main event for the one after this. So I think the semi-main will be for the currently vacant WWE Universal Championship, Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman.
You know what? I do think that there's one thing that I need to do here. I'm going to do it first, and then you're going to do it because it's only fair. And, I don't like him as a performer for any reason. You know what I mean? I think that he's just really not that good. But, and that's just my opinion as a performer. But I'm going to give one very slow cocking of the arm to Roman because I think that, he, it's really sad that he's going through and, what's even worse is that there's actual assholes. There's actual smart mark assholes that think that this is all a work. You know what I mean? And like this isn't a work by any means. And I was making jokes about it where it's like, oh, what is he gonna come back at the Royal Rumble? Blah, blah, blah. I was saying that to people, but I'm not serious. You know what I mean? But I'm also an asshole too, so I know that how people could take that. But man, that's crazy. And I was reading reports on how people hadn't heard of or people within the company didn't know that this was happening. Like Vince knew on last Thursday, but no one else knew. You know what I mean?
Well, and apparently Triple H knew because there's been conflicting reports as to whether or not Roman even wanted to go out and tell people that this is what he was dealing with.
Yeah, but and this is the part of the company that sucks is that that they were like, oh no, this will be great. This
right.
But
and they are already selling F Cancer shirts with Roman Reigns on it.
Is it them or is it a third party? Because I heard that it was actually a third party that was trying to just take advantage of the whole thing.
I mean, that's possible too. At the same time, it makes a lot of. I mean, either way, it makes sense. WWE could look good off of it. I think they own the registered trademark to the name Roman Reigns, so why not?
Why not? Because that's horrible, Phil. That's why not.
Well, no, I mean,
unless he's getting some of the proceeds of they're donating it, but
that's what I mean.
Not if they're just
as long as there was a charity benefiting from the sale, not the WWE directly.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. All right, so going back to the card though, it really helps Braun. I know that there was already a three-way. But it really helps Braun's chances of getting the strap here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that if Brock is really training for UFC right now, I think that he's doing this obviously for the money, right? Unless the whole him going back to UFC thing is a big work and a big joke, and he was just kind of just doing it, you know. But I don't know. What do you think going into this?
So going into this, on the UFC side, I'm not so sure, but I think if you look at it from the perspective of the last time they were in Saudi Arabia, Braun Strowman won the world's greatest Royal Rumble. Well, now,
which is probably why they even put him into this match, right?
Exactly. So now here's his opportunity for the championship the next time he's in front of that same crowd. So I am kind of behind Braun on this one.
I'm definitely going with Braun as well. I think that giving it to Braun here will definitely not only give Raw a new direction, which I and a lot of other people feel it's been needing for a very long time, but I think that, it's going to keep Brock special. We're not that there was a lot of backlash, but people were just kind of like, oh, we need a fighting champion that's here all the time and stuff like that. And Braun very well could be this person, and turning Braun face, and then eventually maybe even putting him back with the Wyatt family, because there was rumblings of that, because we don't know what's going on with Bray at this point, right, with Matt being gone. So, or even we could have the like a teacher versus pupil, where Bray just comes back and they have a feud there. You know what I mean?
I went back into the lake of resurrection.
Yeah.
And I want you to come with me, Braun.
Yeah.
My brother.
That's actually pretty good. I'm actually pretty impressed. Yeah.
I have moments.
Yeah. No.
As seen on TV, Phil Stamper.
Wow.
Shameless plug. I love it.
There is no shame. What are you talking about?
I'm all about that life. All right, so we're both going with Braun on this one. Now, do we get to what we think is the real main event going into this one?
We have the Brothers of Destruction with The Undertaker and Kane taking on D-Generation X, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels.
I just figured I'd kind of keep this in the background as we talk about the match. So we have the match from 20 years ago happening now, right?
Once in a lifetime, never again for a second time.
Yeah, I mean it's
or fifth or something.
So yeah, it's like
this music is putting me to sleep. What are you doing?
It's Halloween. All right, so the Saudi Arabia money is so good that Shawn Michaels has decided to come out of retirement. Okay, so I was really hoping, and we've talked about this before, Phil, where I was really hoping that he was going to be the guy that didn't do it, that didn't come back.
Right.
But
different zip code. It doesn't count.
Oh, yeah. I guess it's not cheating then, right?
Right.
I guess
exactly.
you could say the same thing for when Ric Flair came back in TNA, right? It wasn't.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Oh, you're right. That never happened. What the hell is that? Is that the Undertaker behind me?
There you go.
All right, so Phil, which nostalgia popper is it that you're going with here?
I think they made the deal. Oh, I almost said it. Well, it's Halloween. They made a deal with the devil.
Wow.
Now they got to live with it. I'm going to go DX.
You're going to go DX on that one?
I'm going to go DX. Though part of me says, I don't know. Now I'm mixed because part of me is like, for the big nostalgia pop, The Undertaker and Kane might be the ones to really pull it off. But
the thing, too, though, is that these guys do get they get pyro in Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? They did pay for that. So
I mean, if this is the end of it, like if there isn't another international pay-per-view where we're going to get The Undertaker rolled out until WrestleMania, and I don't see this being a feud that goes to WrestleMania, then this is the end, and I think then you go over with D-Generation X.
I just don't even know. Do you think that this is going to turn into Shawn doing a lot more matches after this, or?
No, I don't think it'll be a lot more. If he does, it'll be sparse. They'll try to make it purposeful. There's a reason to it. He is an agent at NXT. If any, I think it would be really interesting if they use him there. I don't think they will. I think if they save him for moments in wrestling, it's going to be on the WWE main roster, but I think it'll be sparingly.
All right, but at the same time, though, do you think that we're going to get the dream match that AJ Styles teased a couple of years ago between the two of them, maybe at the Royal Rumble this year?
I mean, AJ Styles, just Dolph Ziggler I've mentioned a lot about.
Who's probably going to come out in Shawn Michaels' tights tonight, you know?
Exactly. I mean, who knows? I mean, depending on the role, then they sit Shawn Michaels with. I mean, he's a road agent with NXT, so is he going to be constantly on the road with them? How much does that schedule really align with Raw? But I think especially as they're looking at moving forward with what's going to happen next summer with SmackDown moving to Fox, they're going to need more recognizable name talents to get, again, some of that nostalgia back. But at the same time, current fans need to be updated with the current product, which means they can ride along with Shawn Michaels for both audiences.
But I don't think that's a good move, though. I don't feel like
I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying I think that's what they'll do.
I don't think that putting a 53-year-old man is going to help them attract a newer audience. You know what I mean? It's going to be great for us in our age group.
Well, like I said, I don't think it's new. I think you're going to get either the old fans coming back to broadcast television, or you're going to get new fans or current fans. I shouldn't say brand new. It's the current fans that are watching the product anyway, and now they're just going to get Shawn Michaels.
But it's not even the same Shawn. He's got no hair. He looks more like...
I know this. And you know this. But that's all who knows.
Why am I getting so bent out of shape over this then, Phil?
I don't know. Who do you want to win?
Who do I want to win? I don't know. I want Lio Rush to win.
Leo. Hey, you never know, because if you look at this card, the way it's done so far, Lio Rush is the only Triple H young guy that's on the entire card.
So he's not gonna win this match.
I know
Phil.
He's not gonna win it.
He's not even in the match, Phil.
But hey, that's what's gonna help Bobby Lashley go how far? I can't remember how far. No, you called him to go further.
He's going all the way to the end. Phil, he's gonna have that moment with Ray Ray.
With the man of the hour, Lio Rush. Then he becomes Triple H's buddy. He becomes the new generation of Degeneration X. He becomes the new X.
You know what? You know why Lio Rush is even on the card in Saudi Arabia? It's because he said all those controversial things about the women.
That's not what he did.
What did he say?
He tried to put over Asuka, and Emma gets fired. Her last match was against Asuka, and it was something like, oh, I guess Emma couldn't take the Asuka Nation or something like that. That's what he said.
That's not what he said. He said totally women are horrible, and I want to move to Saudi Arabia. That's what he said.
Send your complaints to Timmy Zabriskie.
Yeah, at Timmy Zabriskie, at Phil Stamper, at PS Phenom, you're Phil Stamper. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Who do I have going over in this card? The Undertaker and Kane are going to win this one, and then it's going to bring us to the next thing. The Survivor Series, where everyone around here has history with Survivor Series.
So, but what does that mean? Are we going to be like Undertaker and Kane with Cactus Jack and I don't know. I had some and Bray Wyatt.
We might as well.
Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash, and X-Pac.
Yeah, and the Survivor Die match that we mentioned before, Phil.
There you go. Live from Costa Rica.
Yeah, or the new island in Saudi Arabia. All right, so Phil, as I mentioned before, in the last show that we did when we called Evolution, you were clearly the victor on that. I don't even know why it's not showing you up here. I think that I never updated that from the last one. But, Phil, so I was unfortunately unable to get a ghost pepper. Next time I will. If we get a ghost pepper, I will definitely do it. I promise. And this isn't gonna be one of those running gags, Phil, where I keep saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go get it," because you're gonna lose next time, all right? And then you're gonna have to get the ghost pepper, all right? So
what if I get this one wrong and you got the last one wrong? Does that negate it, or do we both have to take our comeuppance?
Well, it'll negate it. I feel like that's what it'll be. All right. And then,
boo! I'm hearing the echo from the people watching going boo.
You know what's funny is that how do I not have a boo button on here? I've had all.
You don't have a boo and you don't have a woo. Woo! Okay, awesome.
All right, I do have an extra space here, so I'm gonna get us a boo button. I'll put that in there.
Boo button?
Yeah, I'll put a boo button right there because I had a dead one on here, so we'll add that. But as a consolation, I guess I'll have to chug a beer, right?
I don't know if that's a punishment.
Or we could just wait. I mean, we could just wait until the because when is the Survivor Series, Phil? What is the date of that? I know, pop question I just threw at you.
I'm finding out right now. Survivor Series will be on. It will take place Sunday, November 18th, inside the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California.
All right, so we typically will do these shows the Tuesday or Wednesday before. This time it was a Tuesday because tomorrow's Halloween, and I already got my costume on, so I don't, I'm just gonna
need to change.
I'm going to go to work like this. It's going to be fantastic. Phil, where can we see you in the next couple of weeks? Because we're not gonna do this whole deal.
So you can check me out at Classic Pro Wrestling this weekend in Alet, Virginia, at the Alet Fire Department. You can also then, for the rest of November, I'm pretty much with MCW Pro Wrestling. The 9th in Joplin, Maryland, the 10th in Hollywood, Maryland, the 17th in Felton, Delaware. So check that out, mcwprowrestling.com.
All right, Phil, thank you so much. As always, I always enjoy having these conversations with you, talking about WWE and wrestling. And Phil, this song goes out to you because you clearly were the big winner. Everybody, thank you so much for sticking by. And make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow. We like to do these shows, call the winners and everything like that. Our next show that will, for the Survivor Series will be coming up soon. It will be the Tuesday or Wednesday before, typically around 8 or 9 o'clock. And in case I don't see you, catch me outside. How about that?